Okay, hello and good evening. I call this public meeting of the North Clackamas School District Board of Directors to order on Thursday, June 5th at 6:31 p.m. I would like to remind our community that the purpose of our board meetings is to conduct the business of the district first and for everyone to learn about the district in a safe and productive manner. We have several items on our agenda today, and before we get to community comments, I know we have a full room here and several folks lined up. I do want to make a clarification. At our May 22nd board meeting, we informed the community that the wireless communication system contract with Vocera Communications would be discussed further at this meeting today. However, to ensure the timely implementation, that discussion was moved to a public board meeting that was held on May 27th, where the contract was approved for an amount not to exceed $1,840,000. This adjustment allows all materials to arrive on site by June 30th in accordance with the contract's timeline and avoids an expedited shipping cost of $25,000. We have not received any public comment on this contract, and for folks interested, a recording of that May 27th meeting is available to view on our district's YouTube channel. And if you have any questions or comments, please contact the board via email. But we just wanted to state that for the record. And so with that, I'm going to move us to community comments. Community comments are an opportunity for our community to share their ideas and opinions with the board. Input is welcome and valued. It's our duty to keep it safe and respectful for everyone, and that includes our students, our staff, and our community. This is not a time for a discussion or a debate, and letters to the board are always welcome, and each of us reads the input. And requests for information should be requested as outlined in policy KBA-AR. Any individual desiring to speak will have indicated their desire prior to the board meeting. And an individual with a disability will be given an equal opportunity to participate in board meetings. This may include someone speaking on their behalf if their disability or other medical need limits their ability to attend in person. Board policy also speaks to the accommodations available. A speaker will be required to give their name, city of residence, and the group, if any, that is represented. If there are more patrons desiring to present comments than the time is allotted, the board chair, that's me, has the authority to reduce the presentation time for individual speakers or institute a prioritization process with the first priority to students and city of residence. Speakers may offer objective criticisms of district operations and programs that are of concern to them. The board is restricted from hearing and will not consider complaints regarding any individual district staff member or any person connected with the district. And comments that make a staff member identifiable to the public, even without their specific name, violate this policy. And finally, as an organization that is centered around youth and their positive development, all speakers will model respectful public comment and be mindful of civil discourse. And now I have the folks who have signed up for testimony. So I will invite you one at a time. And first on my list, I have Lexi Fredrickson. If they're here, hi, welcome to the front. And feel free to sit anywhere. And there is a timer here that you can see for up to 3 minutes. We ask everyone to state your name, city of residence, and group, if any, and then the clock will begin.
Thank you. My name is Lexi Fredrickson. I live in Milwaukee in Clackamas County. Good evening, members of the board. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you tonight and advocate for a strong and consistent response to students using slurs and hate speech in our schools. I work at Riverside Elementary, and I'd like to share about the positive changes I have seen in our school's response to students using hate speech. Riverside is a diverse student and staff community and is one of the schools in our district with a dual language program. Unfortunately, each year, students use racial slurs in our building in a way that impacts their peers, including using slurs as insults to hurt others and writing slurs directed at other students in notes and on bathroom walls. Key changes that have improved our school's response to these incidents are the creation of a staff-led equity team, a behavior support team, and administrator who are trained to respond using restorative justice practices, class meeting conversations with grade level appropriate information about this issue, and communication with families to educate them about hate speech. Not every school has these supports available, and these efforts have been led by our administrator and dedicated staff members. Even with these changes in place, we continue to need resources to address these concerns at my school and other schools in our district. When I asked my colleagues what they feel are the most important aspects of improving our response to students using hate speech, they shared that they want the process to be clear with consistent consequences, and they want the process to be regularly revisited so that we can approach situations in a nuanced way that is responsive to individual student needs. Our students also need student-facing information that is specific and suited to their needs by age. I would also like the board to implement continued staff training for classroom teachers, paraeducators, and administrators to support our district mission of equity and care for all our students and staff. Thank you.
Thank you. And next up, I have Taylor Gibson. And welcome. And if you can state your name, city of residence, group, the clock will begin. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Taylor Gibson. I live in Milwaukee, Oregon, and I'm here with NCEA. I'm a teacher at Clackamas High School, and tonight I am actually speaking on behalf of another teacher who could not be here. This teacher wanted me to relay comments to you from Adrian C. Nelson High School. This teacher wanted to address concerns around slurs and hate speech in school. She said, she wanted to share that in her school, there is a lounge area very near her class where groups of 8 to 12 students gather, sometimes at lunch, sometimes during the passing time or after school. She does not have any of them in class, so she does not have a relationship with them other than being the lady who tries to encourage them to go to class. She said they sometimes smile at her efforts. She tries to keep it lighthearted. She has repeatedly walked past the group and heard the N-word and the F slur and the terms, "that's so." She has interrupted a few times, but with no change evident and no in-class relationship, she said that she has given up. Hearing the F slur and knocks against gay people right outside her clearly queer-affirming door of her classroom makes her feel unsafe and makes her feel like she can't protect her students either, and that it is frustrating. Hearing the F slur and other anti-LGBTQ and racialized language right outside her door, which is clearly queer affirming and an all students welcome space, makes this teacher feel unsafe in her own workplace. And worse, she cannot protect her queer students or her other students either. It's frustrating, it's isolating, and it sends a message to her and to others that hateful language is tolerated. She is not asking for perfection, but she is asking for support. Clear structures, consistent expectations, and meaningful consequences that don't depend on individual staff members having relationships with every student in the hallway. This is not a one-person problem. It's a systems issue, and it deserves a systematic response. When staff give up on interrupting hate speech because nothing changes, we all lose. Our queer students lose, our BIPOC students lose, and our educators who are doing their best in many times impossible situations lose too. We hope the board and district leadership will take this concern seriously and help to create safer, more affirming spaces for all students and staff. Thank you.
Thank you. And next, I'd like to invite Hannah Pedro Menico. I hope I'm saying that right. If not, let me know how you say it so I can say it correctly. Thank you. Welcome, and state your name, city of residence, and group, and the clock will begin.
I'm Hannah Pierder-Medico. I live in Vancouver, Washington, and I'm a staff member at NCSD. I'm a school counselor at Rock Creek Middle School. I'm proud to be here to advocate for my students and highlight the necessity of a district policy around slurs and hate speech. As a school counselor, I have the privilege to hear many personal stories and experiences from students. One student who gave me permission to share some of their story has been meeting with me the past 2 years periodically, seeking help for the hateful, transphobic, and homophobic language they hear from their classmates. This is an academically gifted student who should be focusing on what amazing things they will achieve in their future. They've told me repeatedly over these 2 years that they do not feel supported and have simply stopped reporting the hate speech because nothing is going to change. Instead of being in class and learning, they often go to the bathroom to cry instead. This situation is not for a lack of trying from the teachers, support staff, and administrators to address hate speech when it is reported. This issue is simply too pervasive to be dealt with effectively. Not even 2 days ago, I had 2 students telling me they hear the N-word constantly in the hallways from students. Allowing this to be the hallways and classrooms that the children in our district are forced to move through is unacceptable. Research shows that students who do not feel connected to their school have worse educational outcomes. They have worse attendance, less motivation, and drop out at higher rates. I have students who do not feel comfortable, connected, supported, or truly valued in this district. How do I know that? Because I see students avoiding school and falling behind. I see the mental health crises, self-harm, and thoughts of suicide. And more importantly, the students tell me so all the time. The message they are receiving from our district is this issue doesn't matter, and more importantly, you don't matter. Let's imagine a different world. In this world, NCSD has clear guidelines for addressing hate speech and slurs in our schools. Staff are provided training repeatedly each year to help be a part of the solution. People make hateful comments, but we have the tools at our disposal to address it and do better next time. Our students know that when hate speech is used towards them, that they have a village behind them. This village says you matter, not through empty words, but through actions that students can see and feel. This is the world our district can and should be for our students. Thank you.
Thank you. And last on my list, I have, last but not least, Angela Lenore. Welcome, and sorry to be repeating, but your name, please state your name, city of residence, and group, and the clock will begin.
No worries. I'm Angela Lenoir, and I reside in Gresham, Oregon. I'm a teacher in the district. I'm a teacher at Rock Creek Middle School. And as one of the few teachers of color in the building, a lot of the BIPOC students come to me with their complaints of racist slurs used against them on a daily basis, if not period by period. They said that they no longer go to the administration with any of their issues because they don't see anything getting solved. There's a lot of anger and frustration, which leads to a, sorry, I don't like public.
Take your time.
Which leads to them not wanting to come to school, not wanting to engage in school, which then leads to them not being successful in school. They need to have clear, consistent, student-friendly language around how we're working against having slurs in the school. And the staff needs to have clear, consistent policies on how to deal with slurs in the school and how to interrupt this biased language.
Thank you. And that's all that we have signed up for public comment. And I just, we don't usually comment on public comment, but I just want to say thank you for coming today. Thank you for sharing your experiences. And I think the board has heard you loud and clear, as well as the folks around us. So we will be following up. Thank you. Okay, we are going to move on because we don't engage in public comment. Our next agenda item is our native land acknowledgement. Vice Chair Benaloga.
We acknowledge the land on which we sit and which we call the North Clackamas School District rests on the traditional and indigenous lands and village sites of the native peoples of the Kalapuya, Chinook, Malala, and the Clackamas. We take this opportunity to offer gratitude for the ability to learn, work, and be a community on this land, and we offer thanks to the original caretakers of this region. We recognize the historic policies of colonization, genocide, relocation, and assimilation that affected Indigenous and Native families, both past and present, and that will affect those in the future. And we honor the resilience and revitalization of our Indigenous and Native communities. We pay our respects to the elders, both past and present, who have been the stewards of this land throughout the generations.
Thank you. And now for the flag salute, Director Wachter. And
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
okay, thank you. And now, board, we are going to have several items in front of us, starting with our minutes from the last two board meetings. And so the first we have in our board packets minutes of the May 22nd, 2025 meeting of the North Clackamas School District Board of Directors. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Chair, I move board approval of the minutes from the May 22nd, 2025 board meeting.
Wachter, second.
Okay, thank you. The motion's been properly moved by Vice Chair Benaloga and seconded by Director Wachter. And is there a discussion? Okay, seeing none, I call for a vote on the motion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those that oppose, please say no. Okay, and the motion passes with a vote of 5-0. Next, in the board packet, you will find the minutes of the May 27th, 2025 meeting of the North Clackamas School District Board of Directors. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Chair, I make a motion to approve the minutes for May 27, 2025.
Thank you. Is there a second? Oh.
Bowers, second.
It's been properly moved by Director Wachter and seconded by Director Bauer. Is there a discussion? Okay, seeing none, I call for a vote on the motion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those that oppose, please say no. Okay, and the motion passes again with a vote of 5-0. Thank you, board. Next on our agenda, we have lots of different items here. So the items on the consent agenda are employment changes, non-licensed administrator continuation of contract for 2025-2026, the 2025-2026 middle school and high school student fee schedules, and travel requests for Clackamas High School football, travel request for Adrian C. Nelson High School speech and debate, travel requests for Clackamas High School cross country, travel requests for Rex Putnam High School Kingsman Thunder drumline, and travel requests for Rex Putnam High School cross country. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? And please read all of the items included.
Chair, I move board approval of the consent agenda, including employment changes, non-licensed administrator continuation of contract 2025-2026, 2025-2026 middle school and high school student fee schedules, travel request Clackamas High School football, travel request Adrian C. Nelson High School speech and debate, travel request Clackamas High School cross country, travel request for Rex Putnam High School Kingsman Thunder drumline, and travel request for Rex Putnam High School cross country.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Bowers, second.
Okay. Is there a discussion? Okay, seeing none, just want to reinstate, probably moved by Director Benaloga and seconded by Director Bauer. I call for a vote on the motion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those that oppose, please say no. And the motion passes with a vote of 5-0. Thank you. And next up on the agenda is our North Clackamas Education Association, NCEA. And I would like to welcome NCEA Representative Matt Lambert. Yes. If you can read the statement on their behalf, that is fine. Oh, would you? And please Yeah, you can sit down. Yes.
So I can read this, but I can't let someone else read it. The teacher is here. Can I give part of my time so that she can read it? Would that be okay?
Yeah, it's normally not, normal process that we follow, but I will allow it for this time. Yes.
Thank you. My name is Karina Ramirez Velasquez. I'm from Cornelius, Oregon, and I'm a staff member here at this district. Dear school board members, my name is Karina Ramirez Velasquez, and I'm a teacher at Alder Creek Middle School. I am a proud daughter of immigrant parents. My mother is an indigenous woman from the Nahuatl and Purepecha peoples of Mexico, and my father is Afro-Indigenous. I think it is important to mention my racial identity to this conversation. I'm writing to y'all today to share my experience and deep concern about the ongoing use of racial slurs and racialized language that I have witnessed during my 7 years here at Alder Creek and at North Clackamas School District. These incidents are not isolated. I've heard both students and colleagues use the N slur language that is violent, dehumanizing, and unacceptable. In my first year of teaching, I was shocked when a non-Black student loudly used the N slur during my instructional time. 7 years later, this harmful language, this violent language continues. I've seen it written on my desk, on Chromebooks, and on my walls, in the walls in the school and in my classroom. I've heard non-Black colleagues say it. I witnessed non-Black Latino students and staff use it casually and repeatedly, and I've seen this behavior go unchallenged. When I mean unchallenged, I mean that I have not seen serious efforts from district leaders to educate our students, staff members, and community about how wrong this is. What's worse, I've spoken to Black students who have told me that they do not feel safe or welcome at our school because of these extreme anti-Blackness they have experienced. The district's lack of proactive action only reinforces that their pain is ignored. This is not just about individual incidents, it's about a culture that tolerates and at times seems to reward this behavior. I've seen staff across our district use racial slurs and still be promoted or celebrated. This is unacceptable. Shame on the people who are complicit on this behavior. It is my duty as an educator, community member, and as a multiracial person to speak up. Silence is complicity. We cannot wait for more harm to be done before action is taken. We need district leadership to name and confront anti-Blackness in our schools. We need training and accountability for our staff, students, and families. We need to educate all students, especially non-Black students of color, and about the history and violence embedded in this language and this word. I ask you, what will it take for our district to act with the urgency and seriousness that this issue demands? What are you willing to do to support our Black students, our Black staff member, and Black families? Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you. And I just want to reinstate that folks can also email us to the board if you have additional emails about this. But thank you again.
Thank you, Chair. Your flexibility is appreciated. My name is Matt Lambert, and I have the privilege of speaking on behalf to the union to advocate for no slurs in our schools. I know that the district office and school board care deeply about equity, and we appreciate the work you have already done for equity in our schools. The union has the goal tonight to collaborate and to work together to better support all students. In order to understand this issue better, the union sent out a survey to find out how teachers felt slurs were handled in their building. We reached 80 teachers. The respondents were from elementary, middle, and high schools, with the majority of responses coming from secondary schools. 24% of respondent teachers said that there was a well-defined process to address slurs. 39% said there was not. 30% said they did not know what the process was. Only 19% of teachers surveyed felt that slurs are adequately addressed in their school, and 79% said that slurs have been a serious issue in their school this year. The survey also included free responses, some themes that came up from teachers during the free response portion. Teachers are concerned that there is not enough follow-up communication from administration when they report slurs or hate speech. This leads to a feeling of disempowerment or pointlessness, since teachers are not sure if anything meaningful occurs after they report these incidents. Many teachers feel that they have to address slurs and hate speech on their own in the classroom and do not feel like they have the support that they need. Many teachers do not know the process for addressing slurs. This highlights a need for ongoing training. Teachers emphasize that there need to be different consequences or approaches for isolated incidents and repeated incidents. Some teachers specifically asked for staff training, and other teachers asked that administrators do more to educate students. For the union urges all of its members to understand the importance of interrupting slurs and hate speech. The data shows that 30% of teachers did not know the process for dealing with incidents of hate speech at school. This is not acceptable, and to remedy this will require effort from certified staff, classified staff, administrators, and the district office. The union is excited to collaborate on this topic and urges all of its members to interrupt and report hate speech, even if they do not fully understand the process to do so. The process of interrupting and making a report is essential, and an imperfect response is better than no response. Finally, the union urges the district office to review the policies with students and on hate speech with the students and families most impacted by hate speech, such as LGBTQ students, students of color, and students with disabilities, to ensure that the policy meets the needs of these students and families, and update the policy if necessary. The union urges the district office to utilize the training on interruptions that has been created by the Teachers of Color Affinity Group. The data suggests that a one-time training is not sufficient. Ongoing training needs to occur to ensure all teachers understand the harmful impact of hate speech and slurs and build the skills necessary to interrupt. Finally, the district should create student-facing materials that teach students about the harmful impact of hate speech. Students also need to be educated on how to interrupt and report hate speech. Finally, students also need to understand how the school responds to hate speech. Similar to teachers, students sometimes believe that there is no response to hate speech after it is reported, which can cause additional harm or discourage reporting. Thank you for your time and attention, and a particular thank you to Mitzi and Kathy for your service to the school board and the dedication to equity that you have shown throughout your time on the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Matt. And I'll say it again, but if you have the email with the points that you outlined, please share it with us so that we can read it. Thank you. Now, I'd like to take a 5-minute recess before moving on to our next item, if that is okay with the rest of the board. Okay, so we're going to recess for 5 minutes and come back at 7:04. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, board, for that short recess. And now we're going to pick up the agenda, and I would like to welcome our Vice Chair Benaloga for this next agenda item.
So this is our agenda item to recognize our outgoing board members. And so I had an opportunity to write some things down, so I will start it off. I've had the honor of serving on this board with Kathy and Mitzi for the past 6 years, and I just want to say it's been an incredible journey. Together, we've faced tough challenges, we've celebrated big wins, and through it all, your leadership and your hearts have helped guide this district forward. Kathy, it's been a privilege to serve beside you, especially these last 2 years as chair and vice chair. Your advocacy for English language learners and our underserved communities has been powerful and unwavering. You speak up, you stand up, and you always remind us to center the voices of our students. Because of you, North Clackamas is a better, more inclusive place. And Mitzi, what can I even say? You have become my dearest friend, my ride or die. I don't know anyone with more passion and energy for student and the district's success than you. We've laughed together, we've cried together, and through it all, I've learned so much from you. We all have. You are all the good, the light, the sparkles, and the joy, and your friendship is one of my greatest gifts. Kathy and Mitzi, your term on the board may be ending, but the mark you've left here, that's forever. The love, the care, the late nights, the bold stands, you gave all of that selflessly, and it shows in every corner of North Clackamas. We will remember your service, we will carry forward your advocacy, and we will continue the work inspired by your example. I know this isn't goodbye, it's just see you soon, see you on another committee, because, hint, hint, because the two of you, your work in this world isn't done yet. Wishing you all the best in your next adventure, and from the bottom of our hearts, thank you. And I want to ask our other board members if you have something you would like to say as well, and then we can give Mitzi and Kathy a moment as well. Director Wachter?
Okay, thank you, Vice Chair Benaloga. Being called on is great. I have to tell you that the 2 years I've been on this board, I've been very new and very green and very much figuring out and catching up. But I really have appreciated the way that both Mitzi and Kathy have just been great leaders. Even when not board chair, Kathy, you've been an inspiring person to me. And I am very, very proud to have served with you. And I'm excited about what is next in your chapters. And I will try to recruit you for other things in the future in the community, because I know your heart beats for this community, all of this community. So, and Mitzi. I would not have been here if it wasn't for you knocking on my door. Do you want to run for school board? I've just been dazzled by you. You're such a beautiful woman, and I'm going to miss you. And I will probably get to ask all the questions that I want to ask before you, since we often take turns and who's going to ask most questions, and I'm going to miss that a lot. But thank you for your dedication. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your love for this community.
Director McVeigh, do you have a few comments?
Sure, I'll be quick. I probably have sunstroke from today's volunteer event. So, Kathy, meeting you when we were campaigning together, it was a lot of fun. Although I think you ran unopposed that year, first year. No, you did, I think. But what I learned from you early on was your wanting to hear the voice of youth, and and kind of those are who our customers are, right? And so I really appreciate it about you, and you made us see a lot of connections, or made a lot of connections that other folks might not have made without you here on the board. And Mitzi, so much we could say about you that it hasn't been said, all good stuff. But an example of Mitzi's dedication, here she isn't running for the board. I probably talked to Mitzi more this last month than I have in the last 8 years. Hey, there's a community event here, you ought to go talk to them. Like, Mitzi, we're unopposed. We're unopposed. But that just tells you how important it was for Mitzi to make connections within the community to advocate for the school district. And so that sums up Mitzi, that she cares about the community, not just the school district. So, which is the community, right? So you're a pain. And here's to the next bond campaign.
Director Bauer, do you have a comment?
Yeah, I do. You know, I can't believe it's 8 or 9 years, right, Kathy? Ready to go. It was a tough job at times, but it's an important job. And I feel honored that our community elected both of us. You know, it was a responsibility that we both felt strong about, but, you know, and this board has kids in their heart. And I'm so grateful to you as board members too, that we discuss things respectfully, we listen. I've learned from so many of you, and Kathy, your connection with youth and your excitement for campaigning. I thought I knew a little bit about campaigning, but then I met Kathy, and she's out there and has all these the youth come out. So, and your pearls of wisdom and your own personal experience that you shared too. I mean, it wasn't easy for you and your family, but you're always brave and speaking up. But thank you to each of you for stepping up to this big job. And I've just done so many things with Director Benaloga from way back. And so are we doing board reports too? So maybe I should wait for that. Yes. Okay. But, this community has meant so much to us. Our kids just had a great education. And I've always said, they listen to your parents for a little bit, right, Lisa? And then it's the peers, it's the other parents, it's the teachers out there that guide them. They're not going to listen to me, but we were just so fortunate. And I want to, thank my family for being so patient and having my back and the love that you gave me. Yeah, my husband's probably the most patient man in the world. And I've been fortunate that we celebrated 50 years in December. So he's stuck with me. He's still stuck with me. So thank you, family, but thank you, staff, and thank you for the leadership. I'm just so proud of this district. I mean, nothing's perfect, but we always try. We always come back. We don't give up on kids. We have all these choices for kids. And I still have to say, this is the best district in the state. I'm so proud of you and the staff and what you do for kids. We all learn from each other. Parents, we have parents that step up and volunteer many hours, and I've made so many good friends through that community. But equity, diversity, this is a time when we need to really protect our community, and we need to step up for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I've seen that, and I still see that. So I know you'll keep working on it. I have confidence that this board will continue, and you're going to get some new good board members too. So thank you so much. You're an inspiration to me, and that's where I got way more back. I really did. Thank you so much. You guys are great. Thank you.
And Chair Wei, do you have some remarks?
I just have a few things since I have one more board meeting left. So and this is Director Bauer's last board meeting. So wanted to give her some additional time to share her remarks. But this was probably the best unpaid job that I've had for the last 8 years. I learned a lot, and it's been very, very rewarding. because of the community. You know, everyone here has said the word community, and I couldn't have done it without the community behind me, without people like Cheryl Myers, who was here earlier, former chair, and so many others who really paved the way for our district. So I will keep it short for now. I have more at my last board meeting at the end of the month that I can share. But I also want to thank Director Bauer. She, like many others, I was recruited by Director Bauer. Maybe not a surprise, but Mitzi was so personal that she was like, we were trying to get signatures for me to be on the ballot, and I ended up at her son Hank and daughter-in-law's house, and never met them before. But Mitzi was like, "Here, you need to support this amazing young woman." And so that was how I ended up getting to know Mitzi, and she's just been an incredible community organizer. And I know that she likes to stay behind the scenes and doesn't like to take credit, but she is just such a powerhouse. And so I just know that wherever Mitzi goes, she's going to create good trouble. And and I will probably follow her along in her next steps of whatever she decides to do next to help support the community. So thank you so much, Mitzi. Okay. And we have some board. Oh, and I'm sorry, we have Director Kemp who joined on the phone. So we are going to continue our agenda with board reports. And again, this is a time for our board members to report on their activity within the district every month. And so if folks have a report to share, I'm going to go down our list. And this is also an important time, given we're towards the end of this school year, beginning of the next school year, to also please state your interest in the position of chair and vice chair, as I will be stepping down as chair. So I'm just going to start alphabetically. So again, some brief board reports if you can, and then also please state your interest as either chair or vice chair. And Director Bauer's going first.
I have no interest in chair or vice chair. I think I'll stick to a couple things. I went to one graduation, Director Benaloga, and then I did go to the Native American celebration for their students, and it was very profound, inclusive. Their students are excelling. They are doing great. They're going on to schools like Portland State, Oregon State, Reed College, too. There was one that got accepted there. But just wonderful people that I have known a couple of them through the community, and it was so great to connect with them again. Director Benaloga and I, on Monday, went to Rao Middle School, and I need to find the data here, but Principal Moore is no longer here, but we went to the community partnerships, but she directed us down the hall, and they had a board. Let me see if I can find they had a bulletin board, and it was titled, "We Believe All Students Can Grow," covered with names of so many students that has succeeded in reading. The percentage of Rouse students reading at or above grade level in winter 2024 was 43%. Now it's increased to 54% in the spring of 2025. Their goal was, I believe, 51, I think. Yeah. So they exceeded their goal. They've worked so hard, and they need to celebrate. That's everyone, the students, the staff, the principal, all of them in these many efforts. So that's just a couple things. I talk enough. I talk way too much, right, Jonah? You're going to give me a thing. But thank you so much for this opportunity again. And I am so proud of our staff, and thank you, Superintendent James, for your leadership. one thing I do want people to know is that we have a certain role as a board member. We don't get involved in the staff. And I've said that a couple times because we need to be sure that we don't step out of our boundary, but we're high level. You know, we have one employee, we evaluate the superintendent, we approve policy, we approve the budget, we're in the community, but we need to know our place too. So that's just a reminder. But thank you so much for this opportunity. And thank you, board.
Thank you. Next, we have Director Benaloga.
Yes, yes, thank you, Chair Way. Director Bauer and I also went to the advocacy night at Oak Grove Elementary, which was excellent. They really wanted to learn about advocating and learn about the legislation that was currently in Salem, and it was wonderful to be there. We also attended the Seth Welling International Family Day, which was wonderful. The principal even had lederhosen on. And lots of families, and they had exchange students in, and each room was a different country, and it was wonderful. It was fascinating, and it was neat. All the students had a passport, and they got a stamp in each of the rooms that they went into. So I thought that was wonderful. We also went to a couple of plays. We went to Into the Woods at Clackamas and to the student-directed one-act plays at Nelson. Oh my gosh. Our kids are so incredibly talented. I will say that Into the Woods, those kids sing for 2.5 hours. So if you missed it, you missed a wonderful performance. These kids were fabulous. And the student-directed one-act plays, Director Bauer really liked the zombies. Those were her favorite. And they were funny, and 3 different plays. It was really very wonderful. So again, just really, really talented kids. And lastly, we went to the Saban-Schellenberg, the awards and the scholarships. And I have to admit, it's one of my favorite nights to hear about these kids and to see them get scholarship after scholarship and to see them recognized as Student of the Year and to hear how the career pathways at Saban-Schellenberg changed their life. And it was funny. One of the girls said, my classes here help me realize what I don't want to do as much as it helped me figure out what I want to do. And I thought, that's honest, and that's what we want. We want you to try it on when you're 16 and 15 and see how it feels and see how you like that possible field, and then truly make a great decision for yourself. So again, cannot say enough about the work we do there, and recognizing those kids this year was just one of the highlights. And Chair, I am interested in Chair next year.
Okay, thank you.
Since Director Bauer and you will be gone, there is a space open, so there we go.
Great. Thank you.
You have to come back.
Next, I'm going to move down to Director McVeigh, and then following Director McVeigh will be Director Wachter and Director Kemp, who's on the phone, if you'd like to share anything.
I'll be quick. Looking forward to graduations next week. It's the best time of the year. Benefits wrapped up. 2 benefits committee in the last month. Benefits committee is doing a fabulous job as always, in really good shape, but costs are going up as always. So they've done a great job containing those. And I don't think we've had a meeting since the NCF Education Foundation auction, have we?
We've had one board meeting, but please feel free to, I was just going to say,
This was going to say
that was
another fabulous year raising money for the Education Foundation, and that was exciting to see so many of you there raising your paddles. So thank you all.
Oh, any interest in chair?
Not in
vice-
chair.
I'm sorry.
Not in chair.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Director McVeigh and Director Wachter.
Oh, thank you, Chair. I have been away traveling for the last 3-4 weeks, so very little activity. I came back from my travels, and my daughter, who attends Clackamas High School, invited me to Cosmetology Client Day, And so I spent 3 hours with her watching an amazing operation at Saban-Schellenberg. I had my hair curled. I had my nails did. And the students were really, really like a finely oiled machine there. And the instructors were so helpful. One of the instructors advised my daughter to use a tighter coil in my hair. And it was a good moment to be there as a dad and a board member. So absolutely looking forward to graduations, and happy to be a board member and a parent at the upcoming Clackamas graduation. So I'll be there. Chair, I have no time available to do either chair or vice chair roles in the coming year.
Okay, thank you, Director Wachter. And also about the hair curling pictures, or it didn't happen. So we'll have to. Oh, okay. Great, thank you. And we have Director Kemp, who's called in.
Yeah,
Great.
thanks. Again, I've been on the road a lot, so I haven't been able to attend that many home events. But when I have been home, I've seen a number of sporting events, girls softball and boys baseball, and it was a lot of fun to watch the kids. In fact, one of the games I got to see was Clackamas High playing Rex Putnam in softball. And that was a fun game to see two of our high schools playing each other. And I've attended the final budget meeting last week, but I'm out of town so much that I haven't been able to do much else. And like Glenn, I just unfortunately don't have time for the chair or vice chair. And applaud the people that do take on that extra responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Kemp. And for me, also similarly to some of the comments from folks, I've been pretty busy just working my my regular job, and lots of commuting back and forth to Salem. So I haven't been able to attend much, but really enjoyed the NCEF Foundation Gala. I thought the jazz band and the cheerleaders, they were exciting to watch and very talented. Always really great supporting just the efforts of our district. And I also, as Director Kemp mentioned, was at the final budget meeting last, I think, 10 days ago. Can't remember all the dates now. Yeah, and it just also looking forward to attending graduations next week. So thank you so much, board. And I don't have any interest in chair or vice chair since I will not be here. But thank you again all so much. And I believe that at the last board meeting of the summer, we will be taking a vote on chair and vice chair position. So thank you for stating your interest for those who said that they were interested in these roles. Next, we have on the agenda our 2025-2026 alternative placements discussion, and I would like to welcome our Assistant Superintendent of Education, Yvonne Dibley.
Directors, good evening. I will try to keep this short. This is an annual item that we bring forward. Tonight it is up for discussion. According to our policy IGBHA, we are to approve, or you are to approve, the alternative programs that we offer our students. And as far as a budget impact, there may be increased cost, as obviously these alternative programs are not free of charge. Usually, the reason why we engage in these alternative programs could be because of students' special needs. Sometimes it is due to disciplinary actions, and other times it is due to the fact that perhaps students are credit deficient and we need to find a different avenue for them to gain those credits. I'm happy to say that we have two very committed staff members, Dr. Aylin Summers and Luke Scarpino, also who do program evaluations. They support us with program evaluations, and we are going to look to add some evaluations to next year's list. But we're always looking and talking to find ways, again, when a traditional setting is not supportive of students getting the needs met, then we're going to support them in finding that alternative. And every single one of our students that are in these types of programs has a dedicated staff member that supports them throughout the process. So in the attachment, you will see both the list for the alternative programs that we offer, along with the alternative programs for special education.
Great, thank you so much. And looking if the board have any questions. Yes, Director Bauer.
So were there fewer choices this year? Or it looked like the same list?
No, the list has been the same.
Oh, okay, okay. Is there very often waiting lists to get students in?
It's not so much waiting list as it is that there are decreased number of programs, specifically in special education. So when you have very high needs, there are limited opportunities for students to get into those programs. And so that's what creates, really a pinch point.
Thank you.
And Director Wachter?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Yvonne, is there a difference between, I know there is. Let me see how I can ask this question a little smarter. The general education category and then the special education category. I see Parrot Creek, who I know well, in the special education category. Is that really the kind of education sort of servicing that they're providing? Can you speak a little bit more about that sort of maybe definitional?
Again, the needs that are addressed in the alternative placements for special education are so acute that we do not have those services available in our general education settings. And so usually with an IEP team, they have the ability to look at what programs are out there and what services they provide so that we can best match what the need of the student is with the program. Am I answering your question?
Yeah, that helps
Okay.
a lot. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, zoned out a little bit there. I apologize. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, thank you so much for coming and presenting this information. And next, we also have our Assistant Superintendent of Education, Yvonne Dibley. So this is our next item, which is focused on policy revisions.
Thank you so much, Chair. I'm going to just provide a little bit of a background in regards to this specific policy. OSBA policy staff work collaboratively with a work group comprised of school district and ESD staff, as well as professionals from the State Library of Oregon and Intellectual Freedom Committee. The results of this work group culminated in a newly revised proposed sample policy and associated administrative regulations, which was published in the policy update. The update recommended that we deleted our previous policy and replace it with model policy language, ensuring a seamless transition without outdated directives. What you see in front of you then is the deleted policy with the new policy. We brought together a team of professionals, so our executive directors, our directors, associate directors that all took part in this particular policy revision. The IIA, Instructional Materials Policy, really grounds us in language that aligns with our NCSD equity policy. It defines and outlines the selection process for 4 different types of materials. For example, the adoption materials versus non-adopted materials, classroom materials versus library materials. And each one of those processes is addressed in the administrative regulation.
Great, thank you so much. That was very thorough for sounded kind of like a technical fix revision. So thank you. Are there any questions? Okay, Director Bauer.
I just want to say thank you to the committee. It's a lot of work, and for staff and those who serve every couple weeks for a couple hours. So thank you for our committees that work with your staff. It's a great learning opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again. And I believe that's it. Yvonne, thank you for for sitting through that. Next, we have our budget hearing. So this is in accordance with Oregon Budget Law, ORS 294.456. The board has the responsibility to officially adopt the budget, make appropriations, declare the tax levy, and categorize the tax prior to the beginning of the new fiscal year. At its May 27th, 2025 meeting, the Budget Committee voted to approve the proposed budget for the 2025-2026 fiscal year, declared the tax levy for the 2025-2026 tax year, and moved the recommendations forward to the board for adoption. And this time is set aside at this time for a public hearing for the public to address the proposed budget. And I open the budget hearing now. And we have not received any public requests to speak, so the hearing is now closed. And moving on to then our next agenda item, this is the resolution for fiscal year 2025-2026, adopting the budget, making appropriations, imposing and categorizing the tax. This is an action item. And I would like to welcome our Executive Director of Finance and Business Services, Matt McCara. Welcome.
Good evening, Board. Tonight, I'm pleased to bring forward 4 resolutions for action to adopt the budget as well as to impose and categorize taxes for the 2025-2020 or 26 fiscal year. The first resolution is R 2425-82 to adopt the budget for 25-26 in the total amount of $592,553,170. The second resolution is R 2425-83 to approve appropriations for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025 in the amounts and for the purposes shown. The third resolution is R 2425-84 to approve the ad valorem property taxes for 25-26 to be imposed upon the assessed value of all taxable property within the district as follows: 4.8701 cents or per $1,000 of assessed value for the permanent rate tax, $1.63 per $1,000 of assessed value for the local option levy, and in the amount of $44,969,115 for debt service on the district's general obligation bonds. The fourth and final resolution is R 2425-85 to approve that the taxes imposed are categorized for the purposes of Article 11, Section 11B at the rates and amounts as established in the previous resolution, R 2425-84. I would be happy to answer any questions should there be any.
Thank you. Is there questions or discussion? Okay.
Chair, I make a motion to adopt the resolution R 2425-82 to adopt the budget for fiscal year 25-26 in the total amount of $592,553,170.
Is there a second?
Bowers, second.
Okay, it's been properly moved by Director McVeigh and seconded by Director Bauer. Is there additional discussion? Okay, seeing none, I call for a roll call. Seeing none, I call for a roll call vote on the motion, starting with Director Bauer.
Aye.
Director Benaloga.
Aye.
Director Kemp. Director Kemp. Okay, we'll skip. And then Director McVeigh.
Aye.
Director Wachter.
Aye.
and I vote, Chair Wei votes aye. And the motion passes with a vote of 5-0. Oh, and is Director Kemp back on? Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
I,
Okay, so would like to change that to the motion passes with a vote of 6-0. Thank you. And is there a motion to approve the second resolution?
Chair Wei, I move to adopt the second resolution, R2425-83, to approve the amounts for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025, and for the purposes shown are hereby appropriated as presented.
Is there a second? Okay, it's properly moved by Director Bauer and seconded by Director McVeigh. Is there a discussion? Okay, seeing none, this is also a roll call vote on the motion. Director Bauer,
Aye.
Director Benaloga,
Aye.
Director Kemp,
I,
Director McVeigh, Director Wachter,
Aye.
and Chair Wei votes aye. The motion passes with a vote of 6-0. And is there a motion to approve the third resolution?
Okay. Go ahead.
Are you ready? You want?
I was loading up here.
I move to approve the third resolution, R 2425-84, to approve the following ad valorem property taxes are hereby imposed for the tax year 2025-26 upon the assessed value of all taxable property within the district at the rate of at the rate of 1,000 of assessed value of $4.8701 for permanent tax rate, and 2, at the rate of $1.63 per $1,000 of assessed value for local option tax, and 3, in the amount of $44,969,115 for the debt service on general obligation bonds.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Wachter second.
Thank you. It's properly moved by Director Benaloga and seconded by Director Wachter. Is there a discussion? Okay. Seeing none, I call for a roll call vote on the motion. Director Bauer,
Aye.
Director Benaloga,
Aye.
Director Kemp,
I,
Director McVeigh, Director Wachter,
Aye.
and Chair Wei votes aye. And the motion passes with a vote of 6-0. And we have one more.
Chair, I'd like
Yes.
to move we approve the resolution R2425-85 to approve that the taxes imposed are hereby categorized for the purposes of Article 11, Section 11B as, number 1, education limitation permanent rate tax of $4.8701 per $1,000, 2, at the rate of $1.63 per $1,000, and 3, excluded from limitation, general obligation bond debt service in the amount of $44,969,115.
Is there a second?
Bauer second.
Properly moved by Director Wachter and seconded by Director Bauer. Is there a discussion? Okay, I call for a roll call vote on the motion. Director Bauer,
Aye.
Director Benaloga,
Aye.
Director Kemp,
I,
Director McVeigh, Director Wachter.
Aye.
Chair Wei votes aye, and the motion passes with a vote of 6-0. Okay, thank you. Thank you to Matt, the budget team, as well as our budget committee that has been meeting all throughout the year. Thank you for your work on this, and proud to say we've passed a budget. So
Thank you.
thank you. Great. And next we have our last action item, I believe. Yes, this is the last one, and it is our construction excise tax rate approval. And I welcome back again our Executive Director of Finance and Business Services, Matt McCara, for this item.
Thank you, Chair. Next, I bring forward an annual action item for the purpose of establishing the construction excise tax for the 2025-26 fiscal year to be imposed on new construction within the district as measured by the square footage of the improvements made, as follows. A residential rate of $1.67 per square foot, a non-residential rate of 84 cents per square foot, and a non-residential maximum of $41,800. I would be happy to answer any questions, should there be any.
Thank you. Are there any questions? No? Okay.
Chair, I recommend approving the construction excise tax for the 25-26 fiscal year and thereafter until later modified.
Is there a second?
Benaloga, second.
Thank you. It's properly moved by Director McVeigh and seconded by Director Benaloga. And is there additional discussion? Okay, seeing none. This is another roll call vote on the motion. Director Bauer,
Aye.
Director Benaloga,
Aye.
Director Kemp,
Aye.
Director McVeigh,
Aye.
Director Wachter,
Aye.
and Chair Wei votes aye. And the motion passes with a vote of 6-0. Thank you, board, and thank you again, Matt. We've approved lots of things this evening, which again, including our budget for the next school year. And it's always hard to say goodbye, especially to Director Bauer this evening, since this is your last school board meeting. But as so many others have shared, I know that we will see you around. You will still be in our community. But, you know, before you get back into things, I just want to, again, thank you and appreciate you for all of your years of dedicated service on this board. And you just deserve such a wonderful, fabulous time away. So I hope that you are taking rest and care of yourself, and just blessings to also to you and your family for this next chapter of your life.
And you too, Chair.
Thank you.
I'm gonna miss you.
Thank you. Okay. Well, we have one more board meeting before we end at the end of the month. And I will see many of you. Graduations are coming next week. Ceremonies are happening. So thank you again so much this evening. And I hope everyone has a great night. Thank you. Meeting is adjourned.